The US dollar is failing. You need to be buying gold now. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Empire Precious Metals. If you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a guy in a bucket talking about precious metals, so make sure you blast that subscribe button, get the bell notification clicked. That way you get updated with any new content. Today, I am talking about what is happening with the US dollar and its relation to gold. This is not something that I'm trying to do to scare everybody. You know very well, those of you that are familiar with this channel, I am not a fan of the channels that pump the prices of silver and gold based on fear when they're talking about that the whole world is going to an end and the only thing that's going to save you is this stuff. But that being said, I definitely do see a lot of merit behind stacking silver and gold. This is primarily one of the main reasons that I devoted this entire channel to silver and gold. We're not going to talk about that brief period of time when I was doing all that pop culture stuff. But anyway, I have been stacking precious metals since 2006. I bought my first 4 ounces of gold in 2006, and then I left it alone, and then around 2017, I started buying silver and gold. Many of you who know, YouTube is kind of like going down the rabbit hole. Once you kind of start researching something, you kind of just get fixed on it, and it keeps feeding you more and more and more, and one thing led to another, and now here I am with my own channel. Now, we know that inflation is a major problem when it comes to the United States dollar, right? We know that this is something that happens globally, but when it comes to the United States dollar, the average is that, what does this even say on here? No token? What does that even say? Anyhow, we know that these lose about 2% in value each year. So every year that you have, let's say $100, you're going to lose 2% of its buying power. So next year, this will be worth $98. The year after that, $96, so on and so forth. We saw very recently that the inflation rate hit a 41-year high of 7%. That is just crazy. And the other thing that has everybody a little bit more alarmed is that they're saying that inflation is no longer transitory, that it is more of a permanent ongoing thing that is going to be occurring as opposed to these kind of little blips or these little bumps in the road. So I've been stacking gold, number one, because it's something that I do because I just enjoy it, okay? I enjoy seeing this stack grow and grow in terms of value, and it makes me feel like I've got some sort of sense of accomplishment when I see just how much gold I've been stacking year over year. This also keeps me a bit more, I would say, disciplined when it comes to stacking, okay? It's a lot easier to spend this stuff when you've got it sitting in the bank as opposed to when you have it in this type of form, because you not only have it locked up in gold, you have to then sell this to somebody in order to get the cash out of it. And then also there's just something about gold that I just don't like to sell it. I like to just hold it, hoard it, and I keep on stacking. But aside from that, there is that little bit behind the thinking of my overall stacking strategies, in that, God forbid, if there is ever some sort of event in which the dollar collapses, then, you know, I've got precious metals as some sort of hedge, right? And I'm not talking SHTF, but I am saying, you know, if the dollar continues to weaken, or, you know, God forbid, if there is some sort of collapse in the United States dollar, then I know that I've got some precious metals on hand. I have got a very interesting op-ed that I want to share with you. And also I have this other chart that I had found that is breaking down the world central banks and their holdings of gold. And when we get through that segment, I do want to come back here and explain another reason as to why I am stacking this stuff harder this year than ever before. YouTubers within the stacking niche have reported on a couple countries and their stockpiles of gold. Salivate Metal was discussing Russia. We had Silver Heist talking about the Bank of Poland. And while those are important countries, and you know, it helps to take a look at what other countries are doing, you know, let's take a look at the world as a whole. This is a op-ed that was posted today, Sunday, January 30th. And this is really important. Central banks record gold stockpiling right here. I'm just going to extrapolate some of the bigger picture information here for you guys. According to recently released data by the World Gold Council, as of September 2021, the total amount of gold held in reserves by central banks globally exceeded 36,000 tons for the first time since 1990. This 31-year record was the result of world central banks adding more than 4,500 tons of precious metals to their holdings over the last decade, etc., so on and so forth. Obviously, there is a reason why all these various nations, central banks, are stockpiling gold. And right here, it says, for example, up until very recently, inflation was largely and decisively dismissed as transitory, but now we're seeing that that's actually not the case. And furthermore, this isn't really coming as a surprise, but it is alarming to say the least that we're seeing this more and more right here. And while inflationary risks are very much on top of most conservative investors' minds, there is also a much larger long-term shift that the gold buying spree highlights the reign of the dollar as the world's reserve currency is slowly but surely coming to an end. Also, it says here the greenback's value has seen a remarkable decline against gold over the last decade. And when you scroll down even further, we're seeing right here. Meanwhile, many other nations have also been accelerating their gold buying and shedding their dollar reserves. If that isn't kind of a wake-up call to you, I don't know what else could pretty much be that wake-up call that you need. Also, I'm going to include the link for this website here, but this is showing you the world's central bank's gold reserves, and you can kind of see right here gold reserves in tons. It shows you kind of like this grid like chart. When you click on like Western Europe, it breaks everything down for you. As you can see right here, Germany, Italy, it's got who has the most. And again, I'm going to put this link down below. North America, United States, we have 8,133 it says metric tons of gold. Canada, I guess they're just stockpiling the maple syrup. I'm not sure what's going on right there, but you then can click on these and it will further break it down for you even more. And here you can kind of see the region, gold reserves, and so on and so forth. So definitely want to check this out, but you definitely should be doing some research and seeing what is going on when it comes to the dollar. This is also one of the reasons why I am stacking so much more gold and silver this year than I have previously. I'm not an alarmist, but I certainly, don't like where things are heading. So that is one reason that I am stacking gold, is just because, you see what the different central banks are doing. You see that they're just stockpiling their gold. That definitely means that they're positioning themselves. They think that something is awry, something is going on, that they need to kind of better prepare their holdings for future events with gold. Now, the other reason that I am stacking this stuff, again, is because of inflation. We know that this stuff loses its value year over year over year. The dollar gets weaker and weaker. And because the dollar gets weaker and weaker, the gold gets a little bit more pricey, right? And it's not that the gold is really necessarily going up in value, right? An ounce of gold is an ounce of gold. That's not changing anything. It's the fact that the buying power of the dollar has weakened, and therefore the price of gold is going to increase. Some people get very nervous in the fact that gold pricing, when you look at the spot price, gold drops. There's fluctuations. Sometimes it rises, and then when it drops, people get nervous and they sell it. You have to remember that when you are buying gold, you are buying it for a long-term savings. And that is the other reason that I am stacking gold, in the fact that if the dollar continues to weaken, or something happens to, let's say, my 401k account or my 403b or mutual funds or what have you, I do have this other portfolio of savings in my overall investments in precious metals. This is stuff that you can hold. This is stuff that you can sell very, very easy. It is a very liquid form of savings. So my plan when I get older to have this as some part of my retirement. This is going to be supplemental. Worst case scenario, if I need to, sell some of this for, I don't know, anything, a home improvement, or if an opportunity comes around that I want to buy some land, I've got the gold here. I can sell it very, very easily. I'm not worried about it. But this is something that I see myself holding on to for a very, very long time. Will I pass it down to my children? I mean, I don't know. If I end up dying, I guess then my kids will end up getting this. But this is something that I am doing for a long-term type of savings as well. So I'm curious as to what you are doing with gold. Does the central bank holdings and the increase in which they are stacking gold, does that startle you any? Definitely comment down below. And why are you stacking this stuff? Is it, a hedge against inflation? Is it a type of savings for you? Are you doing this for an SHTF situation? Let us know in the comments down below. And I would like to quickly thank these elite channel supporters. And if you haven't already become a channel member, please check out the awesome perks and join today. With that, this is Empire Precious Metals. Until next time, long live the Empire.